heart of New York City. Welcome to All Night with Joey Reynolds. Joey's guest tonight, Jackie the Joke Man Martling. Psychologist Dr. Judy Kuriansky. The Amazing Kreskin. Comedian Dave Konig. Entertainer and songstress Linda Purl. And tonight's musical guest, Paperdoll. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Reynolds.
I feel great. This is our second night on the show, and I have my presidential shirt on, you know, because of Obama's State of the Union. And we got the red, white, and blue. And for those of you who are watching the show for the first time, we know you had a hard time finding us because I couldn't even find it. I didn't know my way to work here. But I got one thing that most people in the talk show business or in the radio and television business don't have, and it's pretty amazing to have this great gift. Now, you know, you could have Regis Philbin's money, and wouldn't we all love it? What does he make, about $20 million a year? It's a little more than I get here. And then we have maybe Larry King, who left with a healthy sum, I think. They're dropping like flies. And Keith Olbermann, he's gone now too, right? Are you looking at this as being another opening, or are we looking at this as being the end of television? I mean, I really got nervous now. Why am I starting when all these guys are ending? This is not a really good, I mean, I don't think it's a good sign. But there are those who think I should replace some of these guys. And even the people who own this network think I ought to be on the other one. No, it's pretty interesting how I have gotten this great career start again, you know, having been on radio for about 14 years. In New York, and before that I did a lot of other things. But you know, when I got on the air, I never thought that I would ever really have a parking space in New York. Now that to me is a perk. If you are a $40 million a year guy, even like Howard Stern, who we have Jackie the Joke Man on tonight, and I think Jackie and Howard made a big name for themselves. Howard got about $500 million. I'm mentioning all the money things. Because I think when you sit in NASDAQ in the window here and you're surrounded by all the financials, you're kind of like there's a gene implant. And I'm into that whole thing right now, into that money thing. Not that I want it. I like money and I'm comfortable with it, but I have the best thing in the world. I got my health. And at an older age, I got a job, which is unbelievable in this society. And the other thing is that I got a parking space in Times Square for my car. Can we get a shot of that? You guys gonna show everybody? I mean, I really actually feel like the mayor, you know? I mean, when you have that, it's pretty amazing to I mean, that's worth what? How much is it worth, guys? I could lease that space. We could have a lot of rentals. And speaking of that, you know, one of the things that people do is product placement. If you can roll the camera back a little bit, you'll see on the desk here, I have something that you probably wouldn't ordinarily see on a show unless they're paying for it. And what this is Coke Zero. Now, the Coca-Cola people are not sponsoring the show so far. They did not pay for this. I'm not plugging them to do anything except to show you that when you see zero, we're not talking about Coke. We're talking about the temperature in New York. This is, my idea of zero is the weather. The hell with Coke. I'm cold. And you know, one of the things that we have in our city that's really nice is steam heat, and it's under all of the subways and of course, you know, a lot of the buildings. So what we have is an advantage. So Manhattan usually has that little bit of a curve where we don't get that, the snow melts faster, except during this last blizzard. And we get a little bit of a curve. We get an advantage of having heat that comes from the street up. Most cities don't have that. And we do have a subway system that's elaborate, and that gives us the heat so that the streets kind of stay clear and clean. And I'm happy to announce that my house is heated by the streets because the landlord turned the damn heat off. So I'm relying on the city of New York to give me heat. And I'll tell you something, I'm going to be staying at work a lot longer now because there's no heat at home. I'm a very happy guy to come to work these days. And I have my fur jockstrap, just in case you're wondering. But you know, I know you weren't. We're gonna have a wonderful show tonight, and we always do because we're playing the city, and it's the greatest city in the world, and also it's the most wonderful time of the year because most people who are worth their salt have stuck it out and are here in New York. The rest of the folks who are chickens are all down in Florida. And we're gonna probably take this show eventually, just for your information, and drag it across the rest of the world because we want the world to see that this is a great city, and it's a city that has some positive notes, not just the bad news, which you see when you're overseas. One of the reasons why I started doing the show years ago, I was traveling doing my show from China and Russia and Israel, wherever we were. I would turn the television on and there's always something bad happening in America. So I said, you know, it looks like we're just a really foul mood country, and it seems like everybody's mean, mad, and stupid. And we're not at all. I mean, I think, you know, first of all, we have the greatest families in the world. We're very generous, and I'm not giving you a telethon pitch, but I do think that when something goes wrong here, we're the guys who run to the rescue of it first. We're a wonderful city, and we have to shed that light on everybody in the world, and that's one of the purposes of this show. So if you're wondering where we're going with this, that's what I want to do with this thing that's not being done by most television stations right now, most channels, and most shows, also on radio. And that's probably why we're not going to take calls of people bitching, you know, for that reason alone. But tonight's program will be evidence of that, and there's an amazing amount of talent in New York, and some of these guys have been around forever. The Amazing Kreskin is, for instance, he has appeared on Johnny Carson more times than anybody in history, and we'll bring him out in a minute. Jackie the Joke Man, who I mentioned earlier, he's on with Howard Stern for a number of years. And our first guest, we're going to bring her out here in just a second, is Linda Purl. She's great. Great singer, and she's appearing at Feinstein's in New York. I'm going to have her perform here tonight. And I want you guys to just relax with the show. And if you don't like it, do what I do. Change the channel. That's all you got to do. See, this is your vote. I got the same thing. You know, when I don't like what I'm doing, I'll get rid of me. I'm going to do it right now. We'll be right back.
When New York celebrities have something to say, they head for the stoop.
This is my stoop. I gotta come to the stoop.
Talk Stoop.
I feel like we're so close that we could kiss. This is a whole other kind of stoop.
It's where Cat Greenleaf gets people talking.
What? Really?
Yep.
That's amazing. Yes. Listen, Naked. Do you mind if I call you Naked?
Tell me something good.
The best of New York on a stoop in Brooklyn.
The celebrity butts that have graced the stoop.
Talk Stoop, weeknights at 8 on New York Nonstop. Sponsored by Cozy. Life should be delicious.
I'm an anchor and a pilot.
I am passionate about chocolate.
I am a ballerina.
I'm the daughter of a jazz musician.
I am a 4-time New York Golden Glove champion.
I'm my grandpa.
Yeah,
I'm interested in the story behind the story.
I'm making this look natural.
I am glamorous.
I'm an anchor and a blues girl.
I am all about my craft.
I am New York.
I am New York.
I'm a New Yorker.
I am New York.
I am New York.
I recommend a steak.
This place is I recommend this place.
We're all about New Yorkers. LX New York. It's the story of the moment. A taste of the best. It's opening night. A helping hand. The characters of New York. The spirit of New York. Told our way. LX New York. Weekdays at 5. We're all over town.
the power of television. I was just talking about no heat. I just got a call. The landlord turned it on. So when you're on TV, you can get heat. Usually we get the heat from management. All right, now let's get the show started here tonight with guests, and I want to bring out Linda Purl. She's great. You probably have seen her. She's been in over 40 movies, and on television she's a big star and a good singer and a wonderful friend. Here she is, Linda Purl. Let's bring her out. We got to have her walk the walk here. Come on, Linda. The door won't open. I love it. It's a door jam. Linda.
Hi.
And somebody's got to give her a chair.
Hey, sit on your lap.
That's all right, we can stand.
Okay, all right. Thank
They're
you.
going to bring a chair over, it's all right.
Thank you.
Welcome. It's
Thanks,
really wonderful
Joey.
to have you on the show.
It's nice to be inside.
Whoa, you
It's
look
cold,
beautiful, too.
Cold out there.
It's nice. What, are you dressed for midnight?
Yes, I am. I have like 5 layers of long underwear.
You don't dress this way to leave the house at 12, do you?
There are no seasons in a studio, right?
I know. Now, I want to talk about something, maybe a lot, you've been on all the shows, and I know everybody knows you and loves you, but I want to talk to you about something that's a little bit, maybe a little off.
Okay.
Because I forgot about this. When you were 7 years old, you were in Japan.
I grew up there.
And
My
you grew
dad
up
was
in
in
Japan.
business there, so I grew
Yeah.
up there.
And that's where you got your taste for show business is from Japan.
Very much so. My folks are theater people at heart, and there were a lot of international artists traveling through Japan at that time. So folks would come and have dinner at the house. We had, we had visits from Helen Hayes and Henry Mancini. Tennessee Williams lived with us for a little while.
But not
and,
in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Really?
In Japan.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That part I didn't know. What I was thinking of, you know, the Japanese it's an interesting kind of culture. One of the things that we do wrong, I think, is since we don't have that family thing anymore where you have the older and the younger have to sit in the same room, you know, we kind of lost that. But the Japanese haven't lost that.
Not to the degree that we have. I think they're much more, very strong families and communities, very strong. Well, I take that back. We have strong communities and families here. I know we are. Our family is very strong. My parents, who are going to be celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary, have come into New York to be with us here this week. So,
That's wonderful.
you know,
well, you know,
families.
the Japanese culture, what I was thinking of with them is I just came back from the Consumer Electronics Show. And the Japanese are definitely, they've been the leaders for a long time with Sony, Panasonic, and some of the great names.
Right.
But, you know, the Koreans have made a mark. And even when you go to China in the Hong Kong harbor, there's a presence, you know, I mean, Samsung and Epson, those are names.
Yeah, we
that
have
are-
some catching up to do.
Yeah. Well, so what the Chinese are doing, instead of, they know they have some vicious competition with the Koreans, so they're jumping over and going right to the Japanese, I've been told. Isn't that interesting?
That's interesting. Are you a techie?
I'm an older guy who's very, very progressive. Let me put it
that's
that way.
nice. Yeah, I don't think you need to qualify yourself as older guy. I saw you on the screen in there. Very, very dapper.
Well, thank you for that. But what I want to establish here is that, you know, I think we're in a time in history where we're worth something. You know what they call us now, don't you? They call us alpha.
Okay.
A-L-P-H-A. You remember Alpha and Omega, you know, the Greek beginning and ending. Right. But they call us alpha people now. The older people are the alpha people.
I'll take that. That's
well, they
nice.
give us these names, you know, they got to describe
right.
what the hell we're doing.
I have a teenage son. What is he? What is a teenage? What is that generation?
Probably a nerd.
A nerd. Well, we're just in finals mode, so a nerd would be good, actually. I would settle for that.
Well, I want to ask you about the Japanese thing, back to that again, about the culture and the singing. Because there's a theater, which you have in your genes, in Japan that was Gilbert and Sullivan. They did the Mikado.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, which is complaining about the establishment.
Right. Well, there's several theater companies over there that do the great American Broadway canon.
Yeah.
And they do them in Japanese, and sometimes they do them with all-female casts. As a kid, I got a chance to work with them, not with the all-female company, but with, I did like The King and I in Japanese. And, and they're very, very savvy. Gosh, they know the lyrics, they know the melodies, I mean, they know the choreography, and those productions were mounted, you know, down to the costumes and the choreography, very, very much honoring what had been created on Broadway. There's a tremendous love affair with the American art form.
Yeah. Well, why did you leave there then? I mean...
Well, I was sort of a gimmick over there. I had blonde hair and blue eyes and spoke the language, and so if there was ever a part for somebody that with those requirements, I sort of got it, but I didn't know what it would be like to be amongst my own. And also the roles were limited there, and ultimately I'm an American. I had 15 glorious years of living there. I loved it. I go back whenever I can.
Your father was not a diplomat.
He was not. He was a chemical engineer, and so was there.
Because that's always a good ride,
exactly.
you know. But then you come home.
That's right.
Yeah,
as they did.
It's limited time.
I believe so.
The Japanese culture. What I was thinking of again was the Jesuits went over there, you know, for the religion, try to Christian. They try to carry the message.
Yes.
And I guess you saw Richard Chamberlain was probably the first of the miniseries after
Right,
Roots.
and
Roots was the most successful one.
Yeah,
then
that
the
was
next one was
fantastic.
I was just thinking of
James
something funny.
Clavell.
Johnny
What's that?
Carson had. Remember Karnak?
Yes, of course.
This is how do you get? Oh no, it was the Shogun.
Right.
Shogun was the name of the series.
Was the name of
right?
the book? Yeah.
How do you get good service at a bank?
Oh, funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, very good.
I'm just going into bad jokes.
That's okay.
Now,
That's all
are you
right.
going to sing for us tonight? And we got a little performance out of you?
We are going to sing, and because on Wednesday and Thursday night I'm going to be over at Feinstein's here in the city, and I hope. Well, you're going to be working. Maybe you can sneak away.
I'll come over.
out,
I'll come
but
over for a little bit.
I hope some of your audience will come over to the show. And I'm just going to say, you know, I've had this kind of funny, like tiny little renaissance on TV. I'm on this show called The Office now.
Yeah.
And I play Pam's
It's a wonderful
mother.
show, big hit. So,
It's a fun
don't
show.
play this one
really
down. It's a big hit, my dear.
They're really fun people.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and it's kind
There's
of
a
funny.
British version and an
Yes,
American version.
and it's soon to be Japanese version and a Chinese version, and so
Oh, that's probably
yeah,
'cause of you.
he's got. I wish. No. It's
Were
just,
you on
it's
Regis? You've been on with Regis?
a long time ago. Yes, yeah. Where's Regis? Where's he? Oh, he'll do something wonderful.
No, I mean, I
yeah.
like him. You know, he's nice, and I know him since L.A. Did you live in L.A. at the time when he was
Yes.
on in Channel 7 there?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He used to do,
absolutely.
he sat on a park bench. Do you remember that? Ralph's Story? I'm just
I
jogging
don't
people through a lot of
remember
things
that.
I want to
No.
bring this. I mean, you have a wonderful career of singing now, but you have also a Hollywood career. I mean, and you.
You know, I've
remain-
made my way in TV, and TV is so odd because I did the first few years of Happy Days, and then did the last 2 years of Happy Days as a different character as Fonzie's fiance, and I did Charlene Matlock on Matlock, Andy Griffith's daughter, and a lot of movies of the week. But people will they'll sort of see you, and you probably have this too. They'll think they know you, but they can't necessarily place you.
Yeah.
It's just TV is odd that way.
The Andy Griffith did a movie last year, you know, and it was quite good. He's really he's another wonderful guy.
Remarkably talented.
You know, there's a lot of good people. I want to bring that out because we're so busy putting everything down and being sarcastic and trying to be hip. But you know, even Angela Lansbury, when she had Murder, She Wrote, she did the most wonderful thing. I mean, she would never brag about it, but she brought everybody who couldn't work anymore and put them on that show.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of
She
names.
did, and she also made sure that anybody who was on that crew who wanted to move up a notch had a chance to do so. For instance, the assistant directors, rather, if they wanted to direct, she made sure that they had a crack at directing. Yeah. The sound man had a chance. He wanted to be a writer, so he got to write a script and become a member of the Writers Guild, etc. And as you say, she would never give herself credit, but the crew would sort of come up and they wanted people to know how gracious she was and how she took care of people and helped them in every way that she could. I mean, she really set the standard. You know, every once in a while you're lucky to meet somebody and you go, okay, that's the right way to go, that's the high ground, and Angela is certainly one of those rare people.
And you too. You're lovely. Everybody. We have a wonderful reputation. You're very patient, and I appreciate you waiting for all this tonight too.
Well, we're thrilled to be here. Very happy to be here, Joey. And congratulations on your show.
Thank you. It's great to work.
Yeah.
So who's going to be this band that we're going to see here?
Well, tonight is Ron Abel, my dear, dear friend, incredibly talented, gorgeous musical director of many, many years. And so we're going to be doing a song. We actually open the show with it. At Feinstein's. Oh, I have to say, at Feinstein's too, Tom Wopat, you know, remember
Yeah,
Tom?
sure.
Gorgeous, punky, fabulous Tom. Well, Tom and I had done an Ira Gershwin tribute in the city about a year ago, and we were given a couple of duets to do. So Tom's coming down to Feinstein's, and he's going to do the duets with us, which I'm just thrilled to get a chance to sing.
Well, he was in Annie.
Tom, he was on Annie, yeah.
Annie, Get Your Gun.
And he's coming back to Broadway soon on Catch Me If You Can.
He's wonderful.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like all you guys. So I'm a sucker fish. I pay to see you.
Okay, that's a good thing.
So good. All right,
Thanks.
let's take a break here and we'll come back.
Okay,
and we'll have
Joey.
Linda Purl. She'll
Thank
be right
you.
on,
Thank you very
right on
much.
our set, singing live. We'll be right back. Okay.
Steve, I can't get the files on the Sanders case. The printers are down again.
Steve, the wireless network and all the servers are completely down on the 4th floor.
That's it. Denise, I'm done with that company. Call ASAP NetSource. Also, tell them we need an on-site tech for some installs we got going on next week.
Dad, the printer isn't working again, and I have to hand in this report tomorrow morning.
And the internet's down again.
And we're out of toner, too.
I know just who to call.
Let ASAP NetSource be your only source for your office and home.
Picture wonderful guests, terrific music, and comics that are really funny, and a host that's okay. That's me, Joey Reynolds, on NBC's New York Nonstop, and what the show is called is All Night with Joey Reynolds. We're actually doing the show from the NASDAQ market site, which is at 43rd and Broadway in Times Square. This is a show worth staying up for all night with Joey Reynolds on NBC's New York Nonstop.
Computer problems? Not a problem for Computer Haven. At a loss at what to do when a computer malfunctions or that inevitable virus strikes? Then call the guys at Computer Haven, the safe place for all your computing needs. Experts in computer and laptop repair, upgrades, and new custom-built PC desktops and Macs. Give us a call today, 732-264-1100, or visit us at computerhaven-nj.com.
Borrowed our friend's piano, this Casio keyboard, and we got Ron Abel who's going to play it, and Linda Purl is going to sing. So we got these guys together on our little all-night show. So here's Linda. Come on.
Let me see the world with clouds. Take me to the world. Out where I can walk through crowds. Take me to the world. A world that smiles with streets instead of aisles. Where I can walk for miles with you. World that's real, show me how it's done. Teach me how to laugh, to feel, move me to the sun. Just hold my hand whenever we arrive. Take me to the world where I can be alive. Let me see the world that smiles. Take me to the world, somewhere I can walk for miles. Take me to the world, a world of skies that's bursting with surprise, to open up our eyes for joy. We can see the world come true. Take me to the world. I won't be afraid. With you, we shall have the world. I'll hold your hand and know I'm not alone. We shall have the world to keep, such a lovely world we'll weep. We shall have the world forever for our own. We shall have the world forever for our
Whoa. Wonderful job. Wow. That's a great song. Is that a Stephen Sondheim song?
It is.
I could tell because I can't hum it.
Yeah.
There's only one song you do that you can hum, I think. Send in the Clowns, right? Isn't it rich? Why am I poor? That I can hum. So Linda Purl, you'll see her at Feinstein's, and you're invited to go there. Where they actually had, last time I was there, who did I see? It was Keeley Smith. They charged about $40 to chill the fork. But I'm sure there's going to be a bargain the night you're there, Linda. But it's in the Regent Hotel, which was built by Tish, one of the Tish guys. We have a city of amazing people, and they continue to pop up on the radio and the television whenever we give them space. But sometimes we don't do that. We just we assume that they're going to be on someone else's show or someone's going to do something. We got away from a lot of these programs where we are a little bit more corny. You know what I mean? But yet Hallmark sells cards, and people send these things electronically. We're in a corny country. We are corny. And it's sad because, all there is love anyway, and in the end, it's all about love. And we're in a traditional economic hold right now, I would think. And one of the ways to dig out is to start to spread all of our love through the community, And I think we're doing it. We're doing a good job of it. And I want to just celebrate that and mention it on the air, just do a little light dusting and bring it up on the television, because it's probably something you don't see all the time. And let's face it, if you're on the news, you've done something wrong, or you've took something that didn't belong to you. On this show, we don't have a lot to steal around here, do we, you guys? Well, they can't take my brain. That's gone already. No, we don't have a lot going for us with as far as equipment is concerned. What does this cost so far? What's the show costing us? $80, $90 a week to do this? That's what I thought. Somebody wrote on email, I'm really doing well on my friends list. I am up to, let's see, how many I have on Facebook? I got 2 friends. Yeah, doing pretty good. On the other account, which is for the professional one, I'm rivaling Ashton Kutcher, and I'm announcing a hostile takeover of Demi Moore, because I've done very well with all these names. And that's the one where they find all these things wrong with me. I was reading today. I hadn't even done the show yet, and they already find things wrong. It's amazing how we have these predictions. Everybody's the Amazing Kreskin. They all know what's wrong before you've done it. Is Kreskin coming out here next, or who are we bringing out here? Oh, commercial? We got to do commercial? Do we actually have, did someone buy time? Did Coke decide that they're going to buy time for $0? We're going to be right back. Joey Reynolds, and that's my name, and this is All Night, and we're on NBC Nonstop. So if you found this channel, it's a miracle. They try to hide it, but, it keeps popping up. We'll be right back.
I can't believe it. This is the third time this month my PC crashed. The last crash cost me $2,500 and they only restored a portion of my data.
You should check out this new online backup software called Desk Protect. I can easily recover from a crash at any time.
Desk Protect? Must be complicated.
Not at all. With Desk Protect, you just run a simple installation process, and within minutes, you can select the data you need protected.
Sounds expensive.
How's less than $6 a month sound?
$6 a month. Even I can afford that.
Computer problems? Not a problem for Computer Haven. At a loss at what to do when a computer malfunctions or that inevitable virus strikes? Then call the guys at Computer Haven, the safe place for all your computing needs. Experts in computer and laptop repair, upgrades, and new custom-built PC, desktops, and Macs. Give us a call today, 732-264-1100, or visit us at computerhaven-nj.com.
Picture wonderful guests, terrific music, and comics that are really funny, and a host that's okay. That's me, Joey Reynolds, on NBC's New York Nonstop, and what the show is called is All Night with Joey Reynolds. We're actually doing the show from the NASDAQ market site, which is at 43rd and Broadway in Times Square. This is a show worth staying up for all night with Joey Reynolds on NBC's New York Nonstop. Yeah, we are in Times Square, and we're at 43rd and Broadway, the NASDAQ building. We're in the window on the world. It's a window of the world. And this is Bill Gates wishes he had windows like this. We're going to bring this guy out here who is my friend, and also you know him as being one of the greatest minds in our generation, the Amazing Kreskin. And here he is. Let's bring him out. Or Buck Howard, some call him. He is the Amazing Kreskin, and Buck Howard was a movie about him, was Tom Hanks' film. Come on, Kreskin. Come on down.
Good to see you, my friend. God, it's great
You're not going to shake my hand.
To be here, Joey. Congratulations. I'm so excited. This is a special guy in the area of broadcasting, I want to tell you. Talk about specializing in communication. It's so good to see you.
Yes, I know. Is this desk imposing?
No,
is it like
not.
A buffet table? We should bring the food out here from Sarge's.
You got good food.
Yeah, we had all these deli platters. We should bring them out here.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Then we'd have an audience.
Well, you'd have everybody at home thinking, food is you're so stimulated by visual imagery and just watching people. I was just saying the other day, I was watching some old movies. I don't see many movies, and everybody smoked in those days, so you can understand watching people smoke how easily it was to pick up a cigarette and go on, like that.
Well, it was romantic.
Yes, and it was something to do with the hands.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't smoke. I've never smoked in my life, but now, this is aging me. Like, I was born in 1842 or 1843, around that time. But Betty Davis always had the darn cigarette in her hand. It was a fascinating prop. Today, you know what I find interesting, and don't anyone take this in a malicious way. I don't mean it this way, but a lot of the producers in television, and Joey will start talking about it too. They all comment on it, how some very fine celebrities, have made a successful movie and maybe have 14 minutes of fame, and they walk onto a talk show, and I hate to say it, but they don't seem to feel comfortable walking in because they don't know how to walk on. And then they sit down, and the producers call me the next day and say, Kreskin, there's another one of the jacket ones. When you sit down in a house on television or what have you, you unbutton your jacket. And they say, now look at that, look at Joey. You don't leave the jacket button, you unbutton it. These folks, these are not important things unless you want to get in show business. But today...
They are if you want to keep your TV show.
But today, I think one of the dramatic changes, and I never realized how out of hand it is. You know, we used to hear about I didn't have a stage mother. My mom and dad were normal, stable people. But, you know, you hear about Judy Garland. She had tragedy in her life. I mean, one of the great successes. But there were, and of course, the Ethel Merman play, Gypsy. But today, and everybody in the business, because they know I deal with how people think, talks to me about these reality shows where these kids are doing all kinds of outrage. And by the way, if any of you think that these shows aren't scripted, I want to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, if you want, you're paying what you pay for, and if they're not scripted, the director on the other side, because people in everyday life, it's boring no matter what your life is. Yeah. But what the sad thing is that these are the stage mothers, these helpless, indigent, neurotic mothers who are pushing their kids on reality shows to do anything, go nude and what have you. So it's like history repeating itself.
Well, you know,
I don't know whatever made me talk about this.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Jay.
Go wherever you want to go. I mean, it's all a stream of unconsciousness with you.
Well, no, the thing about, I think the remarkable thing about you, Joey, is, and I never knew him. He wrote me a lot of letters, but later in his life. But Jack Parr always did a monologue because he couldn't sing, dance, or what have you. And Regis. We talk about Regis because I did 104 shows with him, and I love this man. He's exactly the same off camera as on. But Regis wanted to, he says, I can't sing. He said, Kreskin, I can't dance. I'm not a joke teller. And he revered Jack Parr, so Regis goes on, and you're the remaining person. I mean, you know, Larry King is off the air now, and you're the remaining person, except that what we didn't know about Jack Parr, and one of his producers became my producer in television, is that those opening monologues that Jack Parr ad-libbed were all scripted.
Yeah, his were scripted.
They were all scripted. Yeah. Yours aren't. You tell him
well, Dick Cavett was one of his writers, too.
Dick Cavett. And what a brilliant man he is.
Very smart.
I mean,
you know, we've got to get this across. I mean, I don't think we get this across. We're all friends, you know. And we act like we act like we hate each other and can't wait for someone to die so we replace them. No. And I don't think that's the case. I'm not looking for anybody to have a bad time.
This is a very small business. This is a very, people don't realize how small. That's why I tell, by the way, my favorite comment today, because I do a lot of college shows, all these kids are taught, you know, how to behave when they go into business meetings and so forth. My God in heaven, use some common sense. They'll go in and say, well, you know, I like to work at the station. I'll do this kind of job. We get the weekends off and so forth. And Roger Ailes, who's the head of Fox, told me a long time ago that when he tried for the Mike Douglas show, and Woody Fraser was producing it, he goes, Mr. Fraser, he said, I just got out of college. He said, and I hope, Roger, I'm not telling things out of school. Roger said, well, I studied broadcasting in school. We did television, what have you. And Woody Fraser, who now produces Huckabee, and I see him all the time, he said, well, what's your practical experience? And Roger said, well, I did all these things. And Woody Fraser said, I can't use the language. You haven't had one damn practical bit of experience. We'll hire you. And he says, I'll pay you $25. Now, today, kids are taught, oh, no. Roger said, I'll take it, and he learned it, because if you ever want to get a job in show business, and you walk into an office, and you say to the head of the production, the movie, the TV show, what are the hours? You're done for. I wouldn't hire you for the next 10 years. There's no hours in this business.
Well, you know, when you first came out here tonight, this reminded me.
I love this man. No, he's a dear friend of mine, by the way.
Well, thank you. But you reminded me of your entrance in Buck Howard. I want to bring that up because the movie is available, and it's your story.
It's on 6 days a week.
But it's not called The Amazing Kreskin, and it is. Tom Hanks has you so down in that film, and his son plays in the film as well, just to mention it.
Well, what happened,
and John Malkovich plays you.
Well, what happened was, and Hanks said to me, and by the way, I can't say this, we can't say this about everyone in show business, but the image that Tom Hanks has, that we the public see him as, is exactly the kind of man he is. He like Joey, is a rare, and Regis is a rare, that's the integrity of the man, that's really him. So Hanks says to me, he says, Kreskin, the first 3 days were wonderful. John Malkovich is watching the Carson shows and the Letterman shows and the regional. He says, the next 3 days are nightmares. I said, what do you, he said, well, Malkovich is doing is shaking hands with 30 people a day the way you shake hands. And Regis says that's the dream of every chiropractor. But the whole, the Karnak thing you mentioned, I've told you before, really my break was given me by a man. Everybody's forgotten today. His name was Steve Allen, and he was Joey was a brilliant man. He was well-read, and his mother was a comedian in vaudeville. And when he left the Tonight Show and went to L.A., he had a really late night show like you do, and a lot of the young people, because there are ones that were watching him and discovering this person, as they will you. And he heard about me. He flies me out to L.A., and he says, we all interested in ESP, this young man has an unusual gift. Would you welcome Kreskin? And Joey, the lights are bright in those days, and I'm walking, enamored with this damn bright light, and I'm going over to shake hands with Steve Allen, who's 6'5", and he's on a dais. I didn't know what a dais was. And I reach over, Joey, and trip over the dais and fall flat on my face. And my friends say it's the highlight of my career. But Johnny happened to look in that night. He saw that night, and 8 weeks later created Karnak. That's why Karnak fell over the desk. Yeah. And the last show I did with Johnny, I said, you know, Johnny, 88 shows now, I said, you never let me forget my big break in television. He says, oh, Karnak at the desk. You know, Joe, I don't have to...
How many times have you been on my radio show?
I did 320 hours with you.
That's a lot of shows, right?
Yeah, but
and then one night I caught you sleeping around.
Oh, you get out of here.
Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, you know, they're showing now that NBC just sent the one with Fallon between two chairs. Someday, Joe, when I come back, I'll need to test the crew. I give you my word. I don't break. I need to test the crew, and then I'm going to duplicate what I did with Johnny Carson, did with Fallon. I'll do it here on the set.
Well, we've done that already. I took all their drugs away. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back on the all-night show with Joey Reynolds so far. And, you know, the all-night is bigger than my name. Have you noticed that?
It does spread a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all.
We'll be amazed by Kreskin when we come back some more.
Steve, I can't get the files on the SanDisk case. The printers are down again.
Steve, the wireless network and all the servers are completely down on the 4th floor.
That's it. Denise, I'm done with that company. Call ASAP NetSource. Also, tell them we need an on-site tech for some installs we got going on next week.
Dad, the printer isn't working again, and I have to hand in this report tomorrow morning.
And the internet's down again.
And we're out of toner, too.
I know just who to call.
Let ASAP NetSource be your only source for your office and home.
Picture wonderful guests, terrific music, and comics that are really funny, and a host that's okay. That's me, Joey Reynolds, on NBC's New York Nonstop, and what the show is called is All Night with Joey Reynolds. We're actually doing the show from the NASDAQ market site, which is at 43rd and Broadway in Times Square. This is a show worth staying up for all night with Joey Reynolds on NBC's New York Nonstop.
Computer problems? Not a problem for Computer Haven. At a loss at what to do when a computer malfunctions or that inevitable virus strikes? Then call the guys at Computer Haven, the safe place for all your computing needs. Experts in computer and laptop repair, upgrades, and new custom-built PC, desktops, and Macs. Give us a call today, 732-264-1100, or visit us at computerhaven-nj.com.
I remember when I was working over at 20th Century Fox and I had a big meeting. We were not having hit movies. We had a television series that was working called MASH and another one called Love Boat. We had a couple of things that were on TV, but nothing in the film area yet until Star Wars, which is 1977. And I was there. You know, I was creative director for that thing. But you know, when I was, the reason I'm telling you the story, I'm sitting in I think it was Alan Ladd's office, and I said, I love this job. You don't even have to have hits or anything. I was gone the next day. No, seriously, we have the Amazing Kreskin here who knows everything about showbiz because he's been in it all his life. Now I want to say something about you. You be quiet for a second, please, because I want to tell everybody a little bit about you. Kreskin is one of those guys that you don't get to know real well because he is a private person. He runs. He's a very good runner. I could say this about you on the air. And every year he gathers his friends at his house, and he has several different Christmas parties for closeness, people who he, you know, he's like about 20 friends at a time. Because what he does every year is he gathers us in a room above his garage, next door to his garage.
That's exactly right.
And he puts us in this place where he does a magic trick, because he's not known as a magician,
no.
But he does that. It's his hobby, and he also does a little something with cards, which you know he's a mentalist. So he did something this year that was once again amazing. He had me pick a name out of a book, out of a random book, and I of the millions of words available, I put it in my head, and he picked the word out. So you never know. I don't know how it's done. I don't know if it's a trick. He hates that word. I don't know if it's anything that's got a predisposition. All I know is it happened to me. Now, when someone knows something about you and they read something and you are not really leaving any clues, you become more of a believer. Now, what I want to ask you in the long setup here is because, you know, you've been in show business all your life. You've been so celebrated. You're still in Vegas.
76. Now I'm 76 years old.
And you're very popular on television. You're a great
Fringe
guest.
just mentioned me the Fringe series, Friday and Saturday night. The guy, it's one of those two-dimensional things where they're communicating with another world. It's a big thing on Fox, and everybody's calling me. He says, I'm channeling Kreskin right now.
Well,
I'm still alive, but they're channeling me.
You know him for your predictions, which you make, and of course,
it's a big
you know,
year for that.
you're also very, you're a terrific draw, and so being the entertainer that you are, there's a side to you that's not entertaining.
No,
I mean, there's a side to you that's real, and it's very metaphysical. And we don't get that a lot on television about you because people are usually into the entertainment part, which curiously, I find your mind to be entertaining, you know, in the way you think. And I would like to open that up a little bit, not your mind, but I'd like to open the discussion up a bit because I want to bring this to this show. And I've been dying to have a show where we can really look at you. Because it has to be on TV to look at you. But you know, on radio, I've known you a long time, and we never really got into this, but I want to do it a little bit now. You have a gift, and you don't I guess they say that you can't use that gift in a negative way, or it's taken.
I could never do it. It would be taken away from me.
And you also don't use it for your own purposes, like money. You know, I mean, I don't think you got rich off of that. You make money off of your work. I don't think you got rich off of scheming.
No, and also, Joey, last 2 years ago when I predicted, I was asked about the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to turn it down because the team we wanted to win is not going to be part of it. But on Fox, I predicted the Super Bowl 3 days before, but I said, no, you can't make this public. I could ruin people's lives. I am adamant about it. I said they put it in a package, and like we did with the presidential thing, opened it later on. But I would never bet on that.
Well, let's bring everybody up to speed.
But I would never bet on that, Joey.
This is a whole different ballgame. A year before the election,
nobody knew much
you
of
took two boxes.
And two different groups, you and Trump.
And we put it in a sealed place, and I really did. I mean, you know, I have integrity. And it was locked up. I never saw what you wrote, and I didn't see you do anything but put the thing in there. And when we opened it over at the Trump Plaza across from the UN, you had chosen Obama, and you thought he was a winner.
At that time, when
he was not a favorite.
Joey, he wasn't even thought much about then, but something intuitively. I tell you what, I got to tell you, it's not. Then you're going to hear an insight into me that maybe explains what's behind this, because The most dramatic predictions I've made in my life are this year, and it was a lot of thinking that made me decide to go through with it, because my predictions were not show business. This is going to happen. We're going to have ice cream and everything else like that. But in the case of the Obama thing, I was traveling a lot, and I could feel, because I'm reading people's thoughts. I don't foretell the future, but people were getting distempered with the government. Not Democrats, Republicans, all the government.
Right.
And I said, no, I said, Hillary Clinton, I've been with her, she's charismatic. But I said, they're going to pull someone out of left field. And every once in a while, I'd wake up at night and think of this guy, Obama, and I thought, I got to run with it. I got to run with it. And that's how I came. And I think it was intuitive. It was not my looking into a crystal ball, Joe, because I'm not able to do that. Or with the Super Bowl, that's another thing. My secretary and my road manager, I was home for 2.5 days, did not see me for about 30 hours. I read everything. I'm not interested in sports. I know when you play football, you use a cue table and a ball on the table.
Wait a minute.
But I studied football, stuff I didn't understand. And then this is going to sound crazy. I went jogging. Because JFK, after he had all the advice of his advisors in the White House, read trash magazines and X-rated literature to get his mind off of things. Einstein at Princeton got in a rowboat, pulled the oars in, and let the boat drift. Hilton, with all his advisors, would sit and play solitaire. You got to get your mind off of all the information so something inside sifts. And that's when it hit me. Obama was going to be it. The Giants were going to win, and so forth. That's really how I do what I do, Joey, and not a fortune teller. I'm not a fortune. But you know something? I can't bet on what I feel is certain. I just feel that that's.
But
that's
part of that is not true, because you can't gamble at Vegas. They won't let you read cards.
Can't play poker anywhere.
They don't let you.
My picture's in all the Rogues Gallery.
I mean, you know how to win.
Hey, Joey, I got to tell you, I found, because I was at this Riviera the last up until 2 weeks before Christmas. And I said, I've got to go home. They wanted me for 3 years. I'm going to go back in the spring, but not for 3 years, because I need to travel. Not that I enjoy traveling all the time, but my audience is a wider area. But with the pitmen, every night would come in. And then, Joey, I'd be having dinner somewhere quietly, because I like to, with a couple people, and suddenly a guy would come to me and say, Kreskin, I'm the pitman and such, here's a deck of cards. So I couldn't, because that's what they live on, gambling in
Are we still in Vegas? Where are you, at the Riviera?
Riviera, yeah.
And you're there?
But I'm not going back till the spring. And AmazingKreskin.com. You know, you asked some serious things. I'm very excited about this. I'll tell you the date in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to be speaking in Stockholm, Sweden, before a world conference on the way, it sounds crazy, the way people think. And this is going to sound strange to you, and I'm so excited about this, but we're finding more and more people who think, whether they're thinking numbers, directions, on a car or writing, they think in color. You ask this person, what's 70 and 76 and 35? They see different colored numbers. And they never realize that this is kind of unusual. It goes all the way back to ancient Greece. I think in color when I'm on the stage doing certain things. So I'm going to be speaking about this in Stockholm. You know.
Well, I appreciate your stopping by tonight. You got to go now, because...
By Joe, I predict, Joe, you got a world, a further world is going to discover one of the most remarkable men and one of the most genuine persons you could ever want to know, and that's Joey Reynolds.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I want to end that on that note. That would be the wise thing to do, but I'm not wise. You know, the Amazing Kreskin, when you go to his house and you go to his bathroom, he has all these little soaps from the hotels he stayed at.
Stop.
This man who has not enough money to buy soap. So I think, you know, when you see him, just hand him a bar.
Oh, my God. You're going to have people all over the place. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a running gag, and I'll say, oh, God, that's Joey Reynolds that started that.
Clean it up, Kreskin. All right, we'll be taking another break. And the Paperdolls are coming up. They're a wonderful group. You know, everybody on the show is talented. We wouldn't put them on the show. And, you know, this is going to be a big, fat smash hit, because people are half asleep and they think I'm funny. We'll be right back.
Next time I may not be here for you to put
I can't believe it. This is the third time this month my PC crashed. The last crash cost me $2,500 and they only restored a portion of my data.
You should check out this new online backup software called Desk Protect. I can easily recover from a crash at any time.
Desk Protect? Must be complicated.
Not at all. With Desk Protect, you just run a simple installation process, and within minutes, you can select the data you need protected.
Sounds expensive.
How's less than $6 a month sound?
$6 a month. Even I can afford that.
Computer problems? Not a problem for Computer Haven. At a loss at what to do when a computer malfunctions or that inevitable virus strikes? Then call the guys at Computer Haven, the safe place for all your computing needs. Experts in computer and laptop repair, upgrades, and new custom-built PC, desktops, and Macs. Give us a call today, 732-264-1100, or visit us at computerhaven-nj.com.
Picture wonderful guests, terrific music, and comics that are really funny, and a host that's okay. That's me, Joey Reynolds, on NBC's New York Nonstop, and what the show is called is All Night with Joey Reynolds. We're actually doing the show from the NASDAQ market site, which is at 43rd and Broadway in Times Square. This is a show worth staying up for all night with Joey Reynolds on NBC's New York Nonstop. Nothing's going to keep you awake like this Asian fusion. No confusion. This is the real thing. Teresa Lee is here with Paperdoll. These are the times you wish you had a live audience. Thanks, Terry. Thanks a lot. They were hanging around here earlier, and she's got that dress. I can't understand. It's so cold to leave the house in this kind of, you know, with these dresses that they have on in a cold studio. Only person who can stand the temperature in this room is Letterman, because he loves everything really chilled. We're going to drag him over here one of these nights. You got to bring him here. So Paperdoll, that's them. You can go to their site. Is it paperdoll.com? Paperdoll Band. Don't forget, you got to use that one word or you won't find them. There's probably a lot of paper dolls. There's probably some call girl service. You know, no, not about you. Just joking. Come on, take it easy. All right, we're going to take a break. Be right back. Joey Reynolds, all night live from Times Square, where there are people actually outside staring at us, but the sound isn't out there yet, so they don't know what we're doing in here. They think I'm in a room full of mimes, and they want to shoot us because, well, a mime is a terrible thing to waste. We'll be right back.
Too much talking about the next time I may not be here for you. To put down all of your defenses, when is it my turn to break? Hurry, always saying, taking time to stop for no one even. When they give you
Steve, I can't get the files on the SanDisk because the printers are down again.
Steve, the wireless network and all the servers are completely down on the 4th floor.
That's it. Denise, I'm done with that company. Call ASAP NetSource. Also, tell them we need an on-site tech for some installs we got going on next week.
Dad, the printer isn't working again, and I have to hand in this report tomorrow morning.
And the internet's down again.
And we're out of toner, too.
I know just who to call.
Let ASAP NetSource be your only source for your office and home.
Picture wonderful guests, terrific music, and comics that are really funny, and a host that's okay. That's me, Joey Reynolds, on NBC's New York Nonstop, and what the show is called is All Night with Joey Reynolds. We're actually doing the show from the NASDAQ Market site, which is at 43rd and Broadway in Times Square. This is a show worth staying up for all night with Joey Reynolds on NBC's New York Nonstop.
Computer problems? Not a problem for Computer Haven. At a loss at what to do when a computer malfunctions or that inevitable virus strikes? Then call the guys at Computer Haven, the safe place for all your computing needs. Experts in computer and laptop repair, upgrades, and new custom-built PC desktops and Macs. Give us a call today, 732-264-1100, or visit us at computerhaven-nj.com.
Welcome to All Night with Joey Reynolds. Joey's guest tonight, Jackie the Joke Man Martling. Psychologist Dr. Judy Kuriansky. The Amazing Kreskin. Comedian Dave Konig. Entertainer and songstress Linda Purl. And tonight's musical guests, Paperdoll. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Reynolds.
Why do I feel like we're doing a telethon? We're going to get Carl Sabatino a tote board and a doctor to keep him alive. Why are you screaming at the people? It's a show that's on late. Come on, you're on camera. You're on camera without makeup. Oh, you have no problem with energy, believe me. So you know what? Carl is on the team here. We have a bunch of people who work to put the show together. And one of the things that's going to happen here is we're going to have sponsors on the show, right? That's correct. I mean, this is not cable television that's subsidized. It's not PBS. It is not. This is not the XM's Sirius subscription rate. This is absolutely, totally just a pay-per-view show by the sponsors, commercially. You know, sponsors they're selling time, you know, for the show. And I know that Carl is out there because he has a great record of being a time salesman in television for years, that he is enthusiastic about having people buy time on the show. And I wasn't going to use this time to pitch anybody, but I may as well, as long as we're on the air. You know, last night's show, which is our opening show, we figured we'd have a soft opening, and then I would get good tonight. But it didn't work. I was better last night. No, I'm just joking. You know, you gotta get with this thing. This is an organic and a viral world we live in now. People are watching television differently, as you are. They're running across you because there's 9,000 channels, all these different formats. There's a separation of everything in our society, of rich and poor. That's a good one. Old and young, black and white. We still have separation of that, unfortunately. You know, we have a separation of just about everything. Religions, you know, people are separated all the way down the line. So I said, let's do something where we put everyone in the same room. And you know, we put the show together in Times Square, which is the window to the world, and everybody comes here. There was a saying when I was at NYU years ago when I was a kid. There was a little bit of a saying that if you stand in Times Square for 15 minutes, you'll run into someone you know. And I believe that to be true. I think it's true. When I was later on in life doing a show on NBC, I replaced Howard Stern indirectly 6 months later on WNBC radio in the afternoon. Howard had left to go. He hadn't gone to K-Rock yet, but I was over at WNBC, and I was really wanting to embrace the city and have the city love me. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the rhythm going too much because I was in a transition period of losing the shock jock stuff, which made me famous in the 60s, and coming into a time where I was a little bit more of an adult, and I also got sober, which will you know, a good sober kills a good high. And I got sober about, what is it, 30 years now, I think, thank God, day at a time. I've been sober and also drug and alcohol and smoke-free, you know. And in doing that, I got a little bit, my thinking changed, which it would. And I dedicated myself to wanting to be on the air and being a person who presents people who have ability and have some fun with them, rather than taking shots at everybody or everything that's wrong and making myself famous for that, which I had done in earlier years. I mostly was not, unlike Howard Stern, I was more against the management than I was against the establishment. But it was my preference, and we didn't have the language thing back then so much, you know. I wasn't really going to be swearing on the air because I didn't ever have it fine, and I didn't want to go in that direction. But I was angry about some things, you know. Anyway, long story short, I want to bring the guy who made Howard Stern very famous in a way, and he was part of the team because nobody does this alone. I'm not doing this alone. No one else in the world does any of these things alone. There's not my name may be on the marquee, but it's not just me. And the same with Howard Stern, who had the help of Jackie the Joke Man. We're going to bring him here in a second. Jackie was such a great assist to him. And he's had a great cast around him of 5 or 6 people. We'll talk about that when Jackie comes out here. But I wanted to bring him here. Are we ready for him yet? Can we bring him out? We have to do a little fanfare. Does Carl have to scream his name? Come on, Jackie. Come on out here, as long as I started the subject. You know, this show goes where it goes, and it starts where it starts. I don't have 12 writers. So if I got a little off point tonight, just realize that this is the way we're doing things around here.
What else is new?
Until they stop us. How are you, Jack?
Congratulations,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Reynolds.
You look very dapper.
So
You've never looked more handsome. What happened?
I knew I was going to be doing television with Joey Reynolds. Now, I have a plan what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell a joke because this is a joke I could never tell on your dopey radio show. For all the millions of hours I spent on that radio show, since I wasn't raised in Japan, and since I don't know Regis, and I don't have Carson stories, and I don't have Kreskin's garage, and I don't have dinner with you because
You're paying attention to everything, aren't you?
I got nothing else to do. What am I going to do? Talk to Mark back there? So I'm watching you on TV. You look great.
Thank you.
And this is a joke. My theory is that if I tell a joke that people can go home and tell, or they're home already, but they can go out and tell tomorrow to their kids, to their grandparents, they're going to say, hey, bring that guy back again, so the next time they'll get another joke.
Right.
Okay. So 2 blondes are out to lunch. What camera? You going to tell me what camera? This one. Right there? Right there.
They're all on you now.
No, I know. I'm just teasing the guy, of course. So 2 blondes are out to lunch, and the first blonde looks at the second blonde and says, you got something on your cheek. Look, they're all waving. They're all waving. There's supposed to be a red light on the one that's on. It's busted, isn't it? See, you never get the good stuff.
No.
Right? They get
back to the 2 blondes.
2 blondes are out to lunch. The first blonde looks at the second blonde and says, you got something on your cheek. And the second blonde goes like this. She says, no, the other side. She goes, oh. You tell that to grandma,
That
tell
is
the kids stuff.
That is so dumb.
Well, now
I
I'm
love
come back tomorrow night and tell it again. Now, I have a great Kreskin story.
You do.
Because Myra told me I was going to be out here with Kreskin. So I was going to come out here and tell the story with Kreskin sitting there. But he's not here.
Well, he left.
But it doesn't matter because he's Kreskin. He's going to know I'm telling it.
All right.
Okay. This is such a great story. The Hugh Hefner Friars Roast. The dais at the Friars Roast, you know, is a zillion people, okay?
Right.
And say 50 people, and Kreskin was the very far end. And the way everybody gets arranged in the green room, and when it's time to go out to the dais, you walk out in order. And then everybody sits down. Well, Kreskin was first because he was the furthest seat, okay? So we're all in the green room. Oh, it's time to go, it's time to go. And it's at the Hilton, and you know, it's a huge place, and everybody's gathered. And single file, we start going. And all of a sudden, we're going down this hall, walking down the hall. And all of a sudden, Kreskin's coming back the other way. He got lost. I'm like, you're Kreskin. You're not supposed to get lost. We were dying. We were falling over. So that was great.
Well, he doesn't claim to have any mental powers. You know that, right? Except when he goes to collect his check, which they hide on him. Do you know that at a performance?
No.
They hide. It's in Buck Howard. It's in the movie. I was just telling
You know,
the guys
that's so
here.
funny because every time I've ever worked for you, you've hidden my check.
Yeah, well, there is no check. Well, with him, there is one. And if he can't tell where it is, and he can't discover it at the end of the show, he goes home without the money. That's why he didn't work Vegas for 10 years. He went to the Sands, and that was the end of it. Somebody did something where they screwed up the gag.
That is great. That's a great story.
Mental.
I don't believe it, but for this show, I'm going to.
Well, do you believe in psychics at all? I mean, are you?
Yeah, I'll be your sidekick if you need a sidekick.
No, psychics.
No, I don't believe in psychics. Come on. I mean, we're on the show with Kreskin, so I'm not going to say anything.
All right, now I wanted to talk about Howard.
If somebody could read somebody's mind, come on.
All right, read it now because I'm going to talk about Howard for a minute. I started with it, and I want to finish that thought because I credited you with being part of the team when he got so famous.
Well, thank you.
Well, no, I mean, you know, I want to put this on the air because now we're in a good level playing field, and I would like everybody to know that we're friends, and I have a great admiration for you, and I think that you're a funny man without anybody, and you also
then leave me here.
I will, and you also do work for everybody else behind the scenes when they hire you, or if they, as a buddy, you'll do it free, I'm sure. But you know, when you do these notes with people as you did for Howard, this makes me funnier. It makes me better. And we have guys like that who do this. And you're one of the best in the business.
That's very sweet of you. We've done it a few times on the radio, right?
We have.
One.
But there's another guy, Bruce Valanche, who writes for the Oscars.
Well, he's the master, you know.
And you too. I mean, and I wanted to bring that up because I don't think you get credit for that. There's not a place to get credit.
If the Academy Awards are listening, Joey is putting my name into the ring. I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, you
know, because something happens on the show.
Yeah.
And then you're right in the moment. Remember years ago when Jack Palance did a one-armed push-up, and you know the whole rest of the show was Jack Palance's push-up. You know, they dropped everything, and you know the lines just flew, and I was like, let me be out there. You know, it was great.
Well, would you like to do that again? Are you thinking of maybe being the guy behind the scenes that makes someone else funny?
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Because, you know, what it is if you're having a conversation with somebody and I'm in the conversation, hopefully I'm going to say something funny every once in a while. Instead of saying it, I write it down and let you say it.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, I called it flying gag writing in an interview like 25 years ago, and it stuck, you know. It's very fun. I just started working on a book called Joke Man, and I'm writing all about doing that stuff. You know,
and you have the Joke Master.
You know what? I have
Is that still out?
You know what? I don't want to queer the deal, but there's a real good chance that Joke Master Jr. is going to be in all the CVS's.
Well, what happens? You press a button on this little plastic thing.
You press the button and you hear a kid's joke, a knock-knock joke, or a chicken joke, or
some of them are
joke.
really the ones that we've told all our lives. That
Well, of course they are. Every joke is the ones we've been telling our whole lives, but they're, you know, aren't you glad I didn't say banana again? You know, but
And
it's
they're
great
clean.
fun. It
They're
never
clean.
gets old.
So
you know.
do a couple of them. We might as well jog everybody through.
My mother's favorite was knock knock.
Who's there?
Arthur.
Arthur who?
Arthur Mometer. Which is just so
Maybe
silly.
I don't want to hear these.
Now, I want to tell you something. Now, I will drop some show business names if I may.
All right.
When I went to college, I dragged one of my friends back there, and he met a girl, and she really wanted to be in show business, and came back to Long Island, and they wound up being Zippy's parents. Remember Zippy the chimp?
Yeah.
People that don't know, Zippy was a chimpanzee that had a little sweatshirt that said Zip, and he could roller skate, he could play hide and seek, he could do a bunch of different stuff, and they'd take him around to supermarkets, and he'd be on TV. He was originally on the Howdy Doody show 3 times a week.
Right.
He was a very, very famous chimpanzee. And one afternoon, my band from college was at my mother's house, and we're rehearsing. You know, we're hippies, everybody's there, everybody's crazy and high and having a great time. There's about 50 people, and my aunt lived 2 blocks away. Now, my mother was brilliant. My aunt wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, okay? And Joe came over, my friend Joe came over with Zippy, and Zippy's playing hide and seek with all these stoned hippies, and everybody's freaking out. You know, the chimpanzee is roller skating. It's about up to your knee with arms this long, and he's so cute and so adorable. I said, you know what? We got to have some fun. So me and Joe walk over to my Aunt Janet's house. The kicker to this story is my Uncle Len never laughed. I knew him my whole life, and he smiled, never laughed. He just didn't. And me and Joe have Zippy, who's about this big, and we're standing there at the door with this little, very hairy, very strong, he's this tall, but I mean, he's made out of rock. We each have his big, long arm, and we knock on the door, and my aunt answers, and with a little tug from each of us, the chimp is in my aunt's arms with his arms wrapped all the way around her, and she's like freaked out, and she turns to me and says, "Does he B-I-T-E?" And my uncle fell right off his chair. It's the only time he ever laughed was at his wife being an idiot. It was great.
Well, they now use Zippy on the Robitussin commercials.
Stop it.
He falls off his skates. He is so loaded. Have you seen these things?
No, but that brings my story
I hope
right.
they sponsored the show. I shouldn't be saying it.
my God.
You know, you got to be careful when you say things on the air when you lose sponsors these days.
Joey, I'm
What?
talking about a monkey from 1953. Who knew it was current?
They may have a
comes
budget.
around.
So now you're on XM and Sirius still? We have
I'm
the
on
show.
Sirius XM satellite radio on one of Howard Stern's channels, channel 101, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday nights. Jackie's Joke Hunt, and we just did our 207th show.
You get money for this?
Yes, we actually get paid for it.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's
You're not
me
expecting
and
anything here tonight, are you?
I had a sandwich.
I'm hiding your check.
You know, the food it's such a great gang out there. Everybody's so nice.
We're going to bring Dave Konig out in just a second. You know Dave?
I'm not staying.
Yes, you are. You're going to be here because
I got to sit through Konig?
You're going to write materials and make him funny.
I love Konig. I love it. You know, I'll tell you, I'm thrilled that you got this show because we used to go downtown to 111 Broadway and we'd sit there for 3 hours and I was bragging to people. I met so many great, interesting people. I didn't hear my Four Seasons song. I guess that's going out to lunch, huh?
No, they ought to play it, but I guess someone didn't ask me. You know, what do you want for a theme? They didn't ask me that.
Next time,
Yeah.
when I get called back to do that joke again.
We're going to be right back. We'll take a little break.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Jackie the Joke Man. Jackie's going to stick around and Dave Konig's coming out. We'll be right back.
When New York celebrities have something to say, they head for the stoop.
This is my stoop. I gotta come to the stoop.
Talk Stoop.
I feel like we're so close that we could kiss. This is a whole other kind of stoop.
It's where Kat Greenleaf gets people talking.
What? Really?
Yep.
That's amazing. Yes. Listen, Naked. Do you mind if I call you Naked?
Tell me something good.
The best of New York on a stoop in Brooklyn.
The celebrity butts that have graced the stoop.
Talk Stoop, weeknights at 8 on New York Nonstop. Sponsored by Cozy. Life should be delicious.
I'm an anchor and a pilot.
I am passionate about chocolate.
I am a ballerina.
I'm the daughter of a jazz musician.
I am a 4-time New York Golden Glove champion.
I'm a grandpa.
Yeah, I'm a grandma.
I'm interested in the story behind the story.
I'm making this look natural.
I am glamorous.
I am an anchor and a blues girl.
I am all about my craft.
I am New York.
I am New York.
I'm a New Yorker.
I am New York.
I am New York.
I recommend a steak.
This place is really great. I recommend this place.
We're all about New Yorkers. LX New York. It's the story of the moment. A taste of the best. It's opening night. A helping hand. The characters of New York. The spirit of New York. Told our way. LX New York. Weekdays at 5. We're all over town.
From Long Island, Jackie Martling is here. He called himself.
Be nervous.
Jackie the Joke Man.
Okay.
All right. Now, you were Jackie the Joke Man since when? Not birth.
I was named Jackie the Joke Man by Rick Dees, of all people.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I used to do jokes for his weekly syndicated Top 40 and his local show. He used to call my dial joke, 516-922-WINE, and lift jokes off there. And you remember, everything got dirtier. Like once cable TV started, remember, all of a sudden everything loosened up amazingly. So I started making my dial joke dirtier and dirtier. And one day he called me up and said, "Listen, I can't steal your jokes anymore. They're too dirty. Will you make me some?" And I said, "All right." And he said, "I'll tell you what, we'll call you Jackie the Joke Man, the guy from New York with all the jokes." And I loved it, so it stuck. You know.
And New York is a funnier place than L.A. Without a doubt. There's no material there.
It's not the same it's not even a contest. You know. It's the rub. New York's got the rub.
Yeah. So what are you going to do on the show now, from now on? You're going to be a regular, or are you going to be...
On this show?
Yeah.
I'm coming every night.
Are you?
Oh, I love it here. I live right up the street.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get rid of me.
No, well,
you didn't play, I'm doing the House of Blues in Cleveland on February 11th.
Yeah.
February 12th, I'm going to do Jane Vivino's Packanack Clubhouse, Floyd's wife. And I'm doing the Bordentown, the Record Collector Store, February 5th. And I'm going to Merrillville, Indiana on April Fool's Day. I'm working around.
Are you a friar?
I am a friar.
We got another one. We got Dave Konig here.
I love Konig. I was giving him a hard time out there.
You guys are the younger friars compared to Milton Berle. Well, you're at a halfway house.
Yeah, Dave's younger than me. I'll give it to him.
So let's
he looks older than me.
Let's bring him out here. Dave Konig, where are you, David? We need you. We're dying out here. Yeah, hurry up.
Oh, there's a palpable show business excitement in the air.
Oh my God!
While
listen
he's
to
talking,
Look
I'm
at
going to
this.
plug Binky.
What
as
a
the
show!
makeup.
This is amazing. You got the
Binky.
Amazing Kreskin and Jackie the Joke Man and Linda Purl, and you got Wheeler and Woolsey coming out, and the Norman Luboff Choir are here. It's just amazing.
Why are you bringing a bag?
I brought you a present. I'm regifting, actually.
Everybody's bringing you gifts. Kuriansky's got a gift for you. I didn't bring you nothing.
I brought you a nice gift. Here's the thing. I was performing tonight at the Friars Club before I came out here, and it was a charity benefit, which is what they tell us, because that way they don't have to pay us.
Right.
And it was Goose Gossage was the guest of honor, the great Yankee Goose Gossage. And as you know, Jackie, when you perform at the Friars Club, it's a very prestigious thing, and they give you, instead of paying you, they give you a nice, a very expensive gift when you perform there.
And you're passing that to Reynolds.
I'm going to pass it to Reynolds.
On his first big week on television.
This is the gift I got for performing at the Friars Club tonight. This is an actual Friars Club gift. They spare no expense. Look at this. They got me a nice, it's a $1.98 at Duane Reade. It's a frame they gave me. Plastic with a picture of a dame in there. I don't know who that is.
Whose picture is it?
I have no idea, but that could be your official Joey
You really
Reynolds
don't
show.
know who the picture is of?
No, it's some. It's a drugstore frame with a picture of some.
Why
model
would they
in
give
there.
you this?
Because they're very cheap.
Why wouldn't
But
they
I
put
wanted
some,
you to-
at least put a picture of Dick Capri in
I wanted
there?
you to have that. It was a benefit to raise money to buy Freddie Roman new support hose, so we were very excited to be part of that.
That makes me think of Rodney saying my parents used to carry around the picture of the kids that came with the wallet.
Well, my daughter.
That's the worst gift I've ever
Isn't
seen.
that awful?
So throw it at him.
That's
Throw it at him.
garbage.
Come on, a little energy in this room.
Did you get to see my daughter?
Is that your daughter? Everyone's out there. Wheeler and Woolsey, Leopold and Loeb, they're all out there waiting to come on. It's fantastic.
No, my daughter's not waiting to come on. My daughter's.
She's not on the show? Everyone else is?
She's waiting to go home. I'm her ride.
All right, well, we'll be out of here in about 20 minutes. So
Your daughter is very attractive.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to say anything inappropriate, but I couldn't believe
I can tell you a story about her if you want to hear that. I don't know if you guys want to go for that.
That's exactly what I'm here for. Go ahead, Joey.
No,
If you can tell it on television, I don't want to hear it.
I lived next door to John Voight in the 70s in Los Angeles.
Now, wait a minute. Is this the real John Voight
The
or
actor.
George Costanza's
No,
John Voight?
no.
You lived next to John Voight in the 1970s, or you lived next to him in the West 70s?
I lived next to him in that year.
In the 1970s?
When I lived at a place that was called the French Hill in Los Angeles.
All right.
And John was my next door neighbor. And he had not done the Deer Hunter yet, so I don't know what year
But he had
it was.
already done
I mean, he
Midnight
hadn't done
Cowboy.
the Vietnam thing, coming home. He hadn't done that yet.
Yeah.
So I had I got a relationship going years later with his brother, Chip Taylor. They're from Yonkers. They're four brothers. And Chip Taylor's a producer of songs. He wrote Angel of the Morning. Remember that? Just call me Angel of the Morning. And Trogs,
No, I don't
remember?
remember. Can you sing a little more?
No.
No.
How about Wild Thing? Remember that? The
I
Trogs?
do remember
All
Wild
right, that's
Thing.
his.
Are you going to sing any of that?
No.
Okay.
We'll have him here one night. So Chip's a great producer. And also, he's a devoted friend of soldiers who were left in Vietnam after the war was over.
All right.
And he's got a social conscience. And he's John Voight's brother. And, of course, Angelina Jolie is his niece. So I was saying to him recently, a couple of years ago now, I said, my daughter looks like Angie did at 22. And she's 22 now. So he said, oh, well, do you have a picture? And so I said, yeah. And I pulled out a picture. And he said, yeah, I'll be damned. She looks just like her. And I said, yeah. So Mercedes is here tonight. She's here tonight. So you probably saw those.
That's your daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably saw those estrogen lips that she has, right? You see that? And she's got a very,
I
very...
will honestly say I did not notice your daughter's lips.
Oh.
They're beautiful.
She's a very interesting young lady, and she's been sober, and clean, just like it runs in the family, sobriety these days.
All right.
Thank you very much. You too. Good man. Raise your hand. This is a good meeting.
You got vodka?
No. I got zero.
Who else's anonymity can we break
And I mean
tonight?
it.
All right, go ahead.
No, so I was...
This is what we're getting paid back here.
Just going to say that I'm very proud of my daughter. I'm very proud to have her here, and I wanted to introduce her to you guys, but I want you to know that
Bring her out. Bring her on the show.
No, I will in a minute. I want it, but now that you have the frame,
yes, there you go.
I'm going to take the picture of her
Take
that we
the
do on the
picture
show
of your daughter and put it in that
of
frame.
her with you on this show, and I will put it here on the set. That's what I was getting at.
You're going to take a picture of me with your daughter, put it in that frame, and keep it on this set.
And that will be the beginning of the mementos for the show.
That's a lovely idea.
Exactly, and that's because you were so generous in regifting.
Absolutely.
And I want to give away my daughter.
All right.
Wait, that doesn't sound right. I mean, I want to photograph. No, you know what I'm going to do.
That's as regifting as you can get.
Yes,
giving away
right.
Your daughter.
So is that okay with you?
Joey, it's your show. I want you to do whatever you want.
Well,
whatever makes you happy. I noticed this doesn't really look like an L, the micro. It looks like Joey Reynolds. It looks like an I there.
I thought it was Joey Reynolds, and it just Reynolds is very hip.
The French DJ, Joey Reynolds.
DDS.
Well, there's a lot of flack on the internet. You know, you probably have seen a lot of the Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
And they're wondering how I got the show. You know,
everyone's wondering how you got this.
I know, that makes you feel a little dwarfed, doesn't it? I mean, you're sitting there, you're reading.
No one expected this to happen at all.
I know.
You were running around for 6 months saying, I'm going to get a TV show, I'm going to do a TV show, and we all went, yeah, that's great, Joey, yeah, right. And here you are, it's fantastic.
And then Myra sent me an email saying, Joey got a TV show. And I said, how did this old email wind up in my, you know? And voila, here
Nobody
you are.
thought this was going to happen.
No, they still don't think it's going to happen.
I know.
They're watching it now, they don't think it's going to happen.
I'm so glad it happened.
I announced it at the Friars, remember that?
You did.
And they all looked at me like I was lying.
And they still think you're lying.
I know.
I think you might be lying. I don't think this is actually being broadcast.
Because every time you announce it, you never said what year.
This is true. Well, I didn't really, I always knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know what year.
I think you got lonely. You set up this whole thing with a studio. You hired these guys. This is not actually being broadcast at all. This is just your way to get your friends from the radio show to come on and hang out with you. Because you're a strange, lonely man. I think that's what's going on.
But that's why I brought food. It's from Sergeant's Deli, if you don't mind for a shameless plug, do you?
Please.
No. All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back again. You guys are going to...
I'm very embarrassed that he gave you that, but I think that's such a funny idea to put his picture in there with your daughter. I love it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. All right. We'll be right back. Joey Reynolds. Oh, yeah, Dave Konig. Dave Konig. You can go to his site.
Oh, why bother? But go ahead anyway.
Or Jackie the Joke Man, or Joke Man.
Jokeland.com.
Jokeland.
Jokeland.com.
And we'll be right back. It's my show so far.
I want to tell a joke. I want to do the setup and have you do the punchline, because you know every joke ever told.
Want to do that before we take a break?
Can we do that real fast? Sure. I'm going to try you out. Now, I know you know every joke ever told.
Well, what if I don't now? You embarrass me?
No, we did not set this up. We didn't do this in agreement. I'm going to tell this. I'll do the setup. You do the punchline, all right? Old man, his friends get together. They're going to buy him a special gift for his birthday.
Yeah.
They chip in. They buy him a date with a lady of the evening. He opens the door. There she is. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's lovely. He says, "What is this?" She says, "Happy birthday. I'm here to give you super sex." He says,
"I'll take the soup."
These are the bad jokes.
I don't. Now wait a minute. I do not get the blame. Now wait a minute. That's a hot potato.
I know. Why? Yeah, you are going to get the blame.
I get the blame.
You're not supposed to remember things like that.
Weren't we supposed to cut the commercial about 3 minutes ago?
Does it matter? You want to orchestrate the show?
No, I thought that's
if we start doing this like everybody else does every other show, we'll be doing what they all do.
No,
I'm trying to help him.
We'll be giving it up. I mean, you know how many people lost their show this week?
Do you have commercials on this show?
Yeah. What, do you want to buy something?
No. Don't do a commercial. Let me tell him a joke.
All right.
So a guy's sitting in a bar, and firm on the bar.
Right in front of him on the bar.
The turtle's all wrapped up.
Turtle.
Turtle's all bandaged up.
Yeah.
Another guy walks in with a dog. He says, "What's with the turtle?" He says, "What's with the turtle? This is the world's fastest turtle. I bet you $500 we start at that end of the bar. Bartender says, "Go, my turtle gets the other end of the bar before your dog." He says, "I'll take the bet." Puts down the 500. First guy puts down the 500. They go to the end of the bar. Bartender says, "Go." The dog takes off. The guy with the turtle throws the turtle.
Throws the turtle.
Throws it. See, that's why he was bandaged up. You're a moron. I finished your joke for you, and you don't laugh at my joke.
What? I was waiting.
You repeated his punchline.
That was a funny joke.
We'll be right back. We're going to see. We should have done that commercial.
No. It's funny.
All right, Dave Konig, Jackie the Joke Man, and I'm Joey Reynolds.
Out of here. Get away.
Reynolds. This is.
Steve, I can't get the files on the SanDisk case. The printers are down again.
Steve, the wireless network and all the servers are completely down on the 4th floor.
That's it. Denise, I'm done with that company. Call ASAP NetSource. Also, tell them we need an on-site tech for some installs we got going on next week.
Dad, the printer isn't working again, and I have to hand in this report tomorrow morning.
And the internet's down again.
And we're out of toner, too.
I know just who to call.
Let ASAP NetSource be your only source for your office and home.
Picture wonderful guests, terrific music, and comics that are really funny, and a host that's okay. That's me, Joey Reynolds, on NBC's New York Nonstop, and what the show is called is All Night with Joey Reynolds. We're actually doing the show from the NASDAQ market site, which is at 43rd and Broadway in Times Square. This is a show worth staying up for all night with Joey Reynolds on NBC's New York Nonstop.
Computer problems? Not a problem for Computer Haven. At a loss at what to do when a computer malfunctions or that inevitable virus strikes? Then call the guys at Computer Haven, the safe place for all your computing needs. Experts in computer and laptop repair, upgrades, and new custom-built PC, desktops, and Macs. Give us a call today, 732-264-1100, or visit us at computerhaven-nj.com.
Welcome to the world's friendliest chat room. I was social networking in my mother's womb. We've been doing this all our lives, but all of a sudden somebody organized it. That's why Social Network's probably going to win an Academy Award this year. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Great movie.
And the kid who plays, what's his name again? Who's the kid that started Facebook? You remember his name?
Schwartz.
No, not Schwartz.
Wasn't
Close.
Schwartz?
Don't you remember? See,
Goldstein.
No. What is it? You guys. Zackerly.
Yeah, Zackerly.
Zuckerman.
Zuckerman. That's it.
Zackerly.
Zackerly.
Up all night.
You know, I'm looking at the monitor here. Wearing black against the black, it's just your head is just kind of floating in free space. You're aware of that?
You're not going to start on the way I look now, are you?
No, you look fabulous, but I'm saying the black suit kind of melts right into the background of the black night of Times Square here.
I don't know how to tell you this, but my suit's red.
Is it really?
All right, now we got
Dave's
Dr.
lines kind of melt into the...
Dr. Judy Kuriansky is here
Lovely
to settle. She's a social therapist, you know, and a sex therapist, actually. So let's bring her out. Judy, come on, Dr. Judith.
Bring some sex into the room, Judy.
Right, sex is coming into the room.
Oh, my God. I haven't seen her since the sex week at Yale.
Now there's an outfit that's going to pop on camera. That's going to pop right out.
Now, she has a red outfit. That's a red outfit. She gives great hugs.
Yes.
Lovely, Dr.
It's a tantric hug.
Please, oh, no, you're not going to go into that again,
a transmission of energy here.
Sit down, please, young lady.
I want you to know that I was on the Howard Stern show, and that Howard was the only person who would show the video that I had brought back from Japan. You remember this? You were there.
Do I remember? I've been flirting with you for 25 years. It was the Chinese penis parade.
But he was showing this on the radio?
No, it was TV.
The infamous Channel 9 Superstation show.
That's right. It is actually the penis parade in Kawasaki, Japan. And I brought back this video, and no one would show it because they carry phalluses through the streets. And they are made of wood. They're made of ivory. They're made of stone.
They're the size of a tank, the size of a silo.
And the Japanese women are also carving them, the shape of the phallus
and
on
man,
vegetables.
are the men wincing. The men are wincing while they're carving.
Well, you know, Judy hosted, I hosted Sex Week at Yale.
Yes.
Which was unprecedented because the dean wasn't asked about it the first year. And the second year, they made a week out of it. And they spent a whole day on vibrators, I think, or something. You know, and I'm a clean-cut guy. And I brought my daughter, right?
You did?
And you
right.
pulled out this petrified deer penis.
I did.
Oh.
Right.
I mean, you know.
You still have that.
I still have it. There was another thing from that was from China. Now we're going to the other country.
Whether
and animal activists wouldn't really like it, but that is supposed to be an aphrodisiac, because you are supposed to actually dip it into wine or anything you want, and it's supposed to create this aphrodisiac.
I know,
and everybody wants to know about aphrodisiacs.
I know this is going to
really.
get bleeped.
Hold on.
I don't drink wine, and I don't
You dip it into the wine, and then what? You dip it into the wine, and you...
And it's supposed to emit a certain chemical changes that actually create a high, you know. But
for the
listen,
deer.
Everybody always wants to know, do aphrodisiacs work? Do oysters work and all that? If you're healthy, it's healthy. Although there is a joke, you'll love this one. Why are certain crustaceans like oysters good for sex? That's because they have zinc in them, and without zinc, a man goes zonk.
Without zinc, he goes zonk.
Sounds very Jewish.
I got a sex question for you. Let me ask you an advice question.
Right.
Can I ask you, because I'm married for a long time now.
I know you are, and you have a beautiful wife, and you have gorgeous children. And you have beautiful daughters and a granddad, too.
I'm trying to get my wife to, I was trying to get my wife to come to bed dressed as a French maid, you know, one of those French maid costumes. She came to bed dressed she came to bed dressed as a Guatemalan maid. Baggy sweatpants, orthopedic shoes, athletic socks. So I asked her to talk dirty to me. She said, Mr. David, we need more Lysol. Now what should I do about this? What should I do about this?
You should stop groping me. This would be a good start.
All right, we got to bring Joe Patane out here. Now, Joe was the first star of MTV Real World. And he was you know, I used to get on the train with him. We rode the subway in those days.
Yeah.
Didn't have a lot of money. But, you know, he got on the train, and he was asleep one night, and there's a girl in front of him with a camera while he's sleeping. They stalk him because he was the first reality television star. He lived in that house in Miami.
Right.
And
Yeah,
now he's a social worker, and like you, he's got a community conscience, and you travel the world, and you do good for people, which you do. Right. And we could talk another night about the whole thing, you know, without these two clowns around. But you know, Joe is funded and with Camp Woz, which is Steve Wozniak, who's the co-creator of. Right. What is Joe here? He's not mic'd yet. My daughter is. All right, we'll bring my daughter out.
Let's see.
Mercedes out.
You've been teasing us with
I hope
this
she's
for
not
the whole
bringing that
show.
petrified penis out here. You didn't do that to my daughter, I hope. We're going to
Penis
take a
parade.
picture with her. Bring her out. Come on, Mercedes.
Fathers and daughters should have open discussions about sexuality, as fathers should
Really?
have with
Is that
sons.
really
Yes.
necessary? No, I don't think
Yes.
so. No, I don't
To
think.
prevent
No, I don't think so.
all the problems
I think I think
No,
it
that's
could
why we have
stop
the internet.
short of the deer
They learn
penis.
everything they want on the internet. They don't need to bother me with these questions.
You know, there was a place in Denver where they had all these heads, you know, from hunters, and they had two huge petrified whale penises.
Wow.
My God, they were like, you know, 15 feet long. Frightening.
Oh.
From sperm whales, right?
Let's bring my daughter out here, please. Okay. You can come over here. Say hello. I'm the one you say hello to.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Fancy seeing you here.
So we're going to have a picture of you and Dave Konig together because he gave me this frame from the Friars. Have you been following the show at all?
Yes, I have.
And we're going to get a picture of you and Dave together, and then I'm going to put it in this frame, and we're going to have this as our first prop. And Dr. Judy Kuriansky is going to give you a gift of her petrified deer penis.
Not
Shall we?
That is where I remember you from.
Yes, you don't remember.
And you have that token from Turkey of that dried grapefruit. And every time I see it, I think of you.
Oh,
So
it looks like a dried deer penis.
Joey, you said penis, and she immediately said, "Oh, that's where I remember Dr. Judy from."
Well, she is a sexologist, you know, but Dr. Judy won an award. She's a humanitarian award at the United Nations.
She won the award from the Schmeckel Institute.
No.
It was from Friends of the UN, and for a lifetime achievement on peace and humanitarianism. And we have a Wear Your Hat campaign that I'll bring next time, Tolerance, and we're going to do it at the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week Mad Show TV is going to come around. I'm going to put the hat on celebrities to show how they can be tolerant and explain what love and tolerance is about.
Because so many celebrities are so intolerant. They need these hats. This is terrific.
I don't like people that wear hats.
It's the key. This whole time we've been doing therapy, all we needed was hats.
The hats. That's why she got the award from the UN for the hats.
Hat.
Judy, before you go to my daughter's side over here for a second.
Yeah. She's adorable.
Well,
And very, very sweet.
she's really a good person, and
She
she's
is.
very nice. And take your hand off of my daughter, please.
It's funny, you said the exact same thing to me in the green room.
I did.
Now we're going to hold hands.
You're going to hold hands. Oh, no.
She held a deer penis with that hand.
The world is changing.
Now, you did a good job with her. She has a good heart, and it comes from her dad.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, we've
See
had a
that?
lot.
You see that? We're having a little family thing here.
It's going to get really sickening, and we're going to lose the ratings.
No, but people need to know what fathering is to daughters, because really, as a psychologist, I know fathers withdraw from their daughters. As soon as they become mature, the daughter, and they start to, you know, show
Not this
sexual
one.
signs, the fathers go, and that's why girls go for guys who don't love them, because they're trying to get daddy to pay attention. They remember those days. But I hope that didn't happen.
No, it didn't. We're bonded by my MasterCard. You know, I mean, this is a wonderful. What did we do yesterday? We went to a mall, and what did you do?
I got lost.
Yeah, with what?
There's this nifty piece of plastic in my pocket.
Yeah.
May or may not have been your credit card.
But I do want to know.
That's a great bonding
Do
thing, that
you
credit
approve of this?
I don't vote on her face.
You don't.
I don't vote on her body. I don't vote on her behavior.
Oh, okay.
She's an adult young
There
lady,
you
and
go.
she's able to figure out what she has to do for herself.
Did
right
you
now,
go through a
honestly.
period when you were a teenager, though, when you pulled away from Joey and you were pissed off at him and angry because
Who doesn't?
my daughter is.
See?
I have a
Pissed off at him
16-year-old. You're going through your adolescence with Joey right now.
All right, now I want to bring another social worker out here who
All
was
right.
a television star, as I mentioned earlier. If you want,
Right.
if you're following the libretto on the show,
Okay.
I don't know how you possibly can. I mean, I got a channel changer for a brain. But we got Joe Patane is one of my very dear friends, and he's funded by a couple of very famous people for Joe's work.
Talk
One
about
of which
someone
is
with a big heart.
yeah, he's got a big heart. He's a great guy, and he comes from a family of like 9 kids. But he was the first star on MTV Real World. And Steve Wozniak, when he worked for Apple, took a liking to him, and they started Camp Woz, where they gift kids, and they did a documentary film, which Joe did. And there's another little sidebar. I don't know if I'm supposed to mention this or not, but Drew Carey is also one of those guys who has that kind of a heart, and he's a wonderful supporter of Joe's work.
Of Joe's
And
camp.
Joe is from Jersey originally.
I thought he was from Brooklyn.
Yeah, he was born in Brooklyn, but he went to school at Fordham. And he's going to come out here now. Come on, Joe, come on in.
All right, Joe.
He should be saying all this himself.
Oh, okay.
And since
Jersey
Joe
and
has
or Brooklyn.
such great Mac and Apple experience, he's the one that should take a picture of Mercedes with Dave Konig with his iPhone.
Okay.
He's a happy camper.
All right?
Right.
Oh, he's always happy. All right, Joe, now come on, join us.
Hello,
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Now, MTV Real World,
Yes, Joey.
reality television. Let's have that. Give me 30 seconds on it.
I'm not the guy, Joey. It's a pain in the butt, and it's changed the television industry because like more reality TV on TV than regular TV, and it's just messing with the minds of a lot of young folks and not young alike, and just taking advantage of the lives and personalities of people and just exploiting them to the American public. And we're eating it up. We're eating it up, and it's something I talked about. I wrote a book about it a long time ago, but it seemed like ever since then, it's just been spiraling even more and more out of control.
So what do we need to do?
Tell more people about it, say stuff about it, and tell the truth about it, which for me and a lot of other reality people is that it really takes an extreme toll on the personal life of the people that are on it, their families and their extended families. However, most of the people that are on these shows, unfortunately, get caught up in it and go back on all the external shows, the makeup shows.
They hang on for dear life.
They hang on for dear life because it's the 10 minutes of fame, and they keep going on and on and on, and they'll just keep saying yes to the contracts, the ridiculous contracts that are reality TV contracts, and it's unusual. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'm friends with Ken Roberts, who raised $1 million for President Clinton when he was having his problem with the sex thing, And he lives in Gary. He and Gary Smith from the Oscars live in the Taylor Mansion in Los Angeles, and he raised $1 million for him. The point of the story is that Ken knew Kardashian very well. He was his friend, personal, real good friends.
The dad of
the girls.
Kardashian girls.
And he said that he would be rolling over in his grave for what they're doing because it's disgraceful. This is Ken telling me this last week. And because I said I found 4 drag queens that look like the Kardashians. I'm going to have them on the show on Friday.
Many of them, many.
I mean, but this is the latest of the rash.
Yep.
It's a rash, and we promote it. We keep it going. This business exploits anything.
It used to be there's an idiot, avoid him. Now there's an idiot, grab a camera.
Totally.
That's right.
It's more than a rash now. It's way more than a rash.
Now, Joe, we want to go to your site, which is what?
Oh, joesworld.org. Easy.
And your work?
I work. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm actually a therapist. I work with, ever since the TV show, I realized what's not real in the world. And when I started hanging out with little kids, like 10 and under, they didn't know or they weren't allowed to watch MTV. So I got to be hanging with them, and reliving my childhood, because a lot of people don't know that I was a computer dude. That's kind of like why I was on the show, because I wore a suit and tie to the interviews on MTV. And that's, I guess, something that didn't happen very often for them. So I started hanging out with young kids and reliving my childhood, because I didn't have one. I was like a prodigy computer kid. And ever since that, I just want to hang out with kids. So I started the world of social work. I found the world of social work.
And you work primarily with girls?
No, not no.
I've seen your work.
That's when I was on MTV.
And you're saying
of age
close
girls.
to my daughter. No. So will you take a picture of her with the iPhone?
Oh, who?
Well, my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
With Dave Konig. But
I love that your daughter's here. It's awesome.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
I love Mercedes. It's so cool. You must love her too.
I think I had something to do with it.
She's the greatest. What a cool group of people you have already.
Isn't this fun?
This show is awesome.
Is this better than the reality show you on MTV?
It's Joey. Of course it's better. He's been working at this for a long, long time.
Except we're going to be locked in. We're not allowed to leave for 2 months.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, we're gonna have this Paperdoll band come back, right? They're gonna play for us. And you guys sit down. We're going to take pictures of Mercedes and David.
Exciting.
I'm in that picture with Dave and Mercedes.
Okay. Dave Konig, Jackie the Joke Man, and, of course, Dr. Judy Kuriansky, award-winning humanitarian, and Joe Patane, Joe's World. You can go to his site, .org. And also my daughter Mercedes, who's not available. We'll be right back.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. This is the 3rd time this month my PC crashed. The last crash cost me $2,500, and they only restored a portion of my data.
You should check out this new online backup software called Desk Protect. I can easily recover from a crash at any time.
Desk Protect? Must be complicated.
Not at all. With Desk Protect, you just run a simple installation process, and within minutes, you can select the data you need protected.
Sounds expensive.
How's less than $6 a month sound?
$6 a month. Even I can afford that.
Computer problems? Not a problem for Computer Haven. At a loss at what to do when a computer malfunctions or that inevitable virus strikes? Then call the guys at Computer Haven, the safe place for all your computing needs. Experts in computer and laptop repair, upgrades, and new custom-built PC, desktops, and Macs. Give us a call today, 732-264-1100, or visit us at computerhaven-nj.com.
Picture wonderful guests, terrific music, and comics that are really funny, and a host that's okay. That's me, Joey Reynolds, on NBC's New York Nonstop, and what the show is called is All Night with Joey Reynolds. We're actually doing the show from the NASDAQ market site, which is at 43rd and Broadway in Times Square. This is a show worth staying up for all night with Joey Reynolds on NBC's New York Nonstop. Don't get any better than this. You surround yourself with good friends and family, and also a great band. Here's the Paperdoll.
There are 13,000 cabs in New York City, but there's only one that pays you. Climb into the cash cab and I will quiz you all the way to your destination. As the meter clicks, the questions get harder and the stakes get higher. If you get stumped, you can shout out for help on the phone or off the street. But be careful, because in this rig, it's 3 strikes and you're out. So what do you say?
0 or go to anthem.edu. Call or log on now.
Closed captioning and other consideration for TMZ provided by
Father Lucas, in 2 days.
What was that?
Close the door, please. We don't want to be disturbed, do we?
The Right, rated PG-13.
Losing weight clicked for me when I had everything I needed to lose weight right in my hands. Sophomore year, started Weight Watchers online. The weight started coming off. Oh my gosh. We're college kids. We go out all the time. Having my food tracker on my phone, I can figure out at what I'm having at the restaurant. I lost 73 pounds with Weight Watchers online. I don't think I've ever smiled this much in my whole life. Kind of hurts my cheeks.
Join for free today. Weight Watchers Online. Finally, losing weight clicks.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Deborah.
We got Debbie Gibson. She's out and about in New York, and the first thing we ask her about is her name, because we had some confusion as to whether it was Debbie or Deborah. She says it's back.
I haven't heard a word you've said.
You're just staring at the snow. Yeah, no, it's sticking. We're supposed to get a couple of inches, and it's going to keep going. And
I know the building. The building you're in, it really sucks to be in that building, because then you go downstairs, and then it's like a wind tunnel down there.
Thank you. I know all this stuff, and I have to live it as you guys sun yourselves in 80-degree weather.
I'm a lawyer.
Whatever your car is doing, we'll check it out and fix it right. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. AA MCO. Whatever your car is doing, we'll check it out and fix it right. Extend the life of your transmission with our Power Purge Flush for just $99.95. AA MCO.
Can a little bowl of cereal change your life? I think it can. One of the challenges for Kayla being gluten-free is actually finding choices the whole family will love. Then we discovered Chex cereals. 5 flavors of Chex are gluten-free, including the honey nut flavor, and that's amazing to a mom like me. As a parent, you don't want to have to tell your kids no all the time. It's nice for me to be able to say yes to something that they want to eat.
Chex cereal, 5 flavors, gluten-free.
I'm sure you take care of your teeth and see a dentist regularly, but if you've got this friend and he or she keeps putting it off, remind them about 1-800-DENTIST. Some people, like your friend, really don't like the whole process of finding a dentist. It's a little scary even. Tell your friend that we can help him or her find a gentle, caring dentist that's been pre-screened by us. So call 1-800-DENTIST. Have your friend call us today. We make it easy.
Pillsbury sweet moments bite-sized brownies. Layers of brownie and caramel dipped in chocolate. Ready to eat sweet moments. Find them in the refrigerated section.
Pillsbury cinnamon rolls with Cinnabon cinnamon have such a sweet and delicious aroma that my family can't wait to get their hands on them. Enjoy Cinnabon cinnamon.